everyone. Welcome to this episode of the Sleep Like a Boss podcast. We're doing an interview episode today, and I have Jessica Rojas with me. Hi, Jessica.
Hi, Annika. Thanks
Super excited. Yeah, super excited to have you back. And we're going to talk about a very interesting topic today, and that is the topic of what we would call the monkey mind, anxiety and sleep. And we're going to go there in a second, but I'll have Jessica introduce herself first. So in case you missed the episode that we've done previously on travel, that was with Jessica. If you haven't listened to that one yet, you might have missed the introduction. And so I'll have Jessica introduce herself quickly.
Okay, yeah, just in a nutshell. As you can hear, I'm German, but I live in Spain, in Barcelona. I live here with my family. I have 3 little boys, a husband, 2 cats, and I'm a sleep consultant. So sleep is my passion, and I love to talk about sleep and make everybody fall asleep.
Yeah, and you've been with the Sleep Like a Boss team for a long time, and you also have a sleep consulting business for adults as well as for children. And yeah, we're so happy to have you. And we're going to talk about a very interesting topic today, and that's a topic that we both, I think, see with clients a lot. And that is, while we also look into physical aspects at Sleep Like a Boss, where we say, is there something wrong with your gut, with your thyroid, with your nutrition, with your hormones? There's always that other big part that we need to look at, and that is the mind. How is our brain affecting how we sleep or not sleep? And I think our clients have tried a lot of things. And that monkey mind, those to-do lists that's come into your brain, that anxiety that comes when you try to want to go to bed and it's not working, that's a big part of the sleep puzzle. And one sleep tip that I think a lot of people who don't have sleep issues try to give, because that's the one that comes up when you Google it, is start counting sheep. And for some reason, it doesn't work for a lot of people. And we want to dive into a bit today why that's not working and what you can actually do to help you calm that monkey brain, what kind of tools there are to help you fall asleep better. So Jessica, let's dive in. Why is counting sheep not working?
Because it's too boring, or it even gives you more anxiety. I mean, I couldn't count more than 20 sheep, and I would be like, don't want to see any more sheep. Yeah, the thing is to distract your brain, because if you have these, thoughts popping into your mind, not a monkey mind jumping from one thought to another, even if it's not bad stuff, but just everyday stuff, but you're restless, yeah, and you're wide awake, and then you get annoyed with yourself that you're not sleeping, and all of this is not helpful. So what we need to do, we need to distract our brain to not think about these things. Yeah, so this is why they say count sheep, and then you're not thinking about your to-do list or anything else. But it's not boring enough. It's too boring, so you can still have anxiety. And the thing is, it's about willpower or not willpower. Yeah, if we say, hey, I want to sleep, I just, will myself to sleep, it's not working, right? If not, then we wouldn't have any insomniacs, any sleeping issues. Everybody could just decide, I'm going to go to sleep, I sleep. But it's not about that. Yeah, it's not that easy, unfortunately. So this is why we need to trick our brain to not go there, to not feel the anxiety, because the thing is, we cannot feel or do 2 things at the same time. Yeah, so multitasking actually is not multitasking, it's jumping from one thing to another. And if we see, oh, this anxiety, this worries, like all of these bad feelings you shouldn't have in the middle of the night creeping in, we need to stop them. We need to nip them in the bud as soon as they arrive. And this is why we really need to distract our brain. Yeah, so we need to say, no, don't go there. But it needs to be something which works, and counting sheep is not working. I even found a study from 2002 from the Oxford University, and they did try to see why counting sheep is working or if it's not working. So there's really a study about it. I found this interesting. And they had 3 groups. They split their insomniacs in 3 groups. So one group was doing nothing. Yeah, one group needed to count the sheep, and one group needed to visualize a really tranquil surrounding, like being at the beach or in the mountains or something like this. So what they found, the group who did nothing changed, obviously. The one who had this imaging of tranquil scenes, they around 20 minutes earlier could fall asleep. So that was an improvement. If you're an insomniac, even 10 minutes is an achievement. But what is really interesting, the group who had to count sheep, they were even taking longer to fall asleep. So I think they were getting anxious, or they were getting annoyed, or they were getting frustrated. So it was like counterproductive. So don't count sheep.
Yeah, and that's really interesting, because I was also looking into that study, and what they were originally thinking, that by visualizing this beach or mountain, that would excite people, and that making that connection would actually like hyper arouse them and make them not sleep. And it's the opposite of what happened. It's the counting the sheep, where you think it's so simple. Like you said, it's too simple. Our brain actually bypasses the counting. It's kind of like we can count, and in parallel, in that moment, actually have that anxiety and those anxious thoughts. They run in parallel to us counting, and then we get distracted from the counting, and then the anxious thoughts take over, right?
Exactly. When they're really building up in you, there's no way to stop them. So it's really important to, when you feel you're getting anxious or you're worried or something, do something right away. Don't wait. If it's too big, it's too big already.
So, and what are ways, how can we deal with that? How can we stop that anxiety from building up?
So I think there are two ways to attack that issue, the monkey mind and all of this. First of all is to distract your brain. Yeah, so don't even let them in. Like, stop it, close the door. And there are some techniques, and I can explain to you how we can do this. So that's the first one. Don't let them in at all, And the other one is like, okay, let them in, but then break them down and see if they're really that scary, if everything is really that true, and attack them. Yeah, so don't let them make themselves from a fly into a big elephant, the other way around. This big elephant, put them back into a little fly, and then it's not as scary and not as, you don't feel all of this anxiety around that topic anymore. Yeah, so these two areas you can actually do. Should we talk about the first one, like not even letting them in?
Absolutely. How do we do that?
Okay, don't let the monkey jump around in your brain. So as we just said, we need to trick our brain into something so that it cannot go to this anxiety thoughts. The thing they did in the study is not so bad to imagine like a really nice scenery or something. The issue I found with my clients when I proposed it in the beginning, they said, yeah, I can do this for like a minute or two. I can say, okay, I'm on the beach and it's really nice and I hear the waves and see the palm trees, and then what, So then they're kind of a little bit lost. And I came up with this idea of doing it like a movie, like really have a script, and it needs to be a movie, because if you watch a movie, your favorite movie, and you watch it 10 times, it's always the same movie. Every single step. It's not like a slightly different version of that movie. The movie is the movie, and that's really, really important, because after a while, when you have your mental movie, your brain will understand, oh, the movie is on, so that means I'm okay, it's interesting enough. You can like really go into that, it's not so boring, or it's not so scriptless that I'm lost after 10 minutes or 5 minutes, like, and now what am I going to do now? So that's really important. And then it should be always the same movie. You cannot say, today I'm watching that movie or that movie. That's not working, because then the brain is like, what are we going to do here? We're watching a movie. Yes, where's the popcorn, right? But it's not, the connection with sleep is not there. So let me give you an example, because I think it's a bit difficult to understand. I had this woman, I was working a few years ago with her. And she really, her hobby was to do something out of wood. She had like this little atelier, like this little room, and there were all her tools and the wood and everything, and she made like little sculptures out of that, and that was her happy place. That was whenever she could. So it was nice, it was a nice atmosphere. I said, what, we use that. So you need to imagine, you go there, you open the door to your little wood place, right? So you open it, hear how maybe the door is squeaking or making noises. Then you go in, the smell of the wood, you have your table there, you have your tools, you sit down. What you're gonna do, maybe you make a yourself a cup of tea first, put it on the table. Now you get your wood, you get your tools, you touch the wood. So it really is about smelling, feeling, and as it was an actual movie. So you need to really do that and feel that something you're happy about. Yeah, it doesn't need to be a workplace or happy place, it can be anything. And you need to give it time, because sometimes I do it like twice or 3 times and then I say, oh, it's not working. No, because your brain did not get the message that this movie means relax and sleep. So it needs to be something which you like to be there, or you like to do, and you really know everything, but it needs to be with details. So then after a while you open that door in your mind. You open the door, you go in that room, and your brain is like, oh, okay, it's a happy place, calm down, go to sleep. I do this too. I did this for many, many years, or I do this for many years. And I can tell you, every time I do this, I'm not even finishing my movie, not even halfway through, and I'm okay. So when I think about work, about the kids, about life, I think, no, I go into my movie. And since my brain knows how to do it, it's really easy. I just go there and I start the movie, and then I'm okay. So that's tricking the brain into not go to the other issues. Just be in your happy place. And that's easier than just, imagine a nice beach. And then what?
And
What
then
you
what
gonna
do you,
I mean, you can do the beach, but you need to have a script. And even sometimes you can do it throughout the day, because at night when you're already frustrated and anxious, and now you have to come up with a movie, that's not working. So whenever you have a moment throughout the day, say, hey, what do I like? What gives me joy? How can I put this into a movie? Like really like, okay, that's the first scene. This is what I do. That's the second scene. This is what I do. And it really is powerful. It sounds weird, but it works. It works really well.
oh, I wish I would have had you like a few years ago when I had my sleep anxiety, because that would have been totally what I needed. And I think what you said is the important point is, try it and give it a chance, and try to make it a consistent habit. And developing these habits takes a little, and retraining your brain, because your brain follows the current script of the movie of Annika is laying in bed and has anxiety and can't sleep.
Exactly.
And we're rewriting that story, but rewriting that story requires your brain to go somewhere it hasn't been, which again causes a bit of uncertainty for the brain in the beginning, and it's trying to protect you. So it's kind of a bit like, is this the right thing to do? This feels uncomfortable to me because I haven't been there. And that's just your brain trying to protect you. But by doing that over and over and over again, your brain learns your new story, and your brain learns your new movie.
Mm-hmm.
And
Exactly.
then it becomes comfortable with that, because it's something you enjoy, and that gives you peace and comfort. And that is what you need to fall asleep, right? And by associating those two things over time,
Mm-hmm.
that will exactly do, I think. I haven't tried it. I wish I had
No, but
before, but I think like you're saying it, and I'm sure it totally works. Like it's,
yeah.
yeah.
And it's a good point what you just said. In the beginning, yes, you will feel resistant. You feel like this is stupid, it's not working, I don't want to do it. It feels like inside you feel like, you want to reject it. And that's exactly what your brain is doing. It's not you. It's not like you saying, oh, this is stupid. It's your brain saying, that's something new. That's a new habit, no? We need to do. That's work. And the brain always want to be efficient and save energy. And that's a new, because you have a script in your brain already. You have like this movie, but it's a bad one. It's not a good one. It's a nightmare movie. So do this into a peaceful movie, and it takes a little bit of effort. But when you get over that obstacle, when the brain finally says, okay, you're not letting it be, you're letting it go, let's do that. It's so powerful. It really is. So that's good.
Great. And what is the other thing? So that is we're closing the door, and we're trying to, like you said, nip those anxious thoughts in the butt and try to not even let them overwhelm us.
Mm-hmm.
And what is the other thing? Because you said there's two things. What's the other thing that we could do?
The thing is, attack them. Let them in, but don't let them scare you, because the thing is, we often have like this automatic thoughts popping in our head. So we're not even anxious, but we lay in bed, and suddenly, oh, I think about this and this and this and this and this. And you think like, no, I'm so tired, I want to sleep, but then you're wide awake. I heard this image of ants a while ago. Yeah, like this how to say, example of these automatic negative thoughts as ants. Yeah, but if you write it down, it's like ANTS, so automatic negative thoughts. And the point here is automatic. Yeah, so that's something you cannot control or stop. We all, throughout the day, especially at night, we have these automatic thoughts popping into our head. Yeah, so I'm a bad sleeper, or tomorrow gonna be a bad day, or this, or this, or this, or that. Yeah, so it's okay if they pop in, accept them. And if there's only like 1 or 2 or 3 ants in your brain, but then leaving again, that's okay, that's fine, you can do that. But if you invite them to stay, and suddenly you have like this huge amount of ants in your brain, then you're overwhelmed, and then they cause an issue. Yeah, so don't think you need to be somewhere where you never ever have these bad thoughts. They're gonna pop into your head, that's fine, but then get them in and say, okay, here you are, you little ant, let me see, are you that scary? Yeah, so first of all, ask, is it true? For example, say, okay, if I'm not sleeping right now, tomorrow gonna be a really, really bad day. I'm gonna, be so tired at work, I won't survive, my kids, my husband. So is it true? Yes and no. Yes, you're going to be tired, but will you not survive the day? No. Yeah? How many times did you have a really bad night, and how was the next day? It was okay-ish. Yeah? It was maybe not your best day, but you could do it. Yeah? Will it be the end? No, it will not be the end. So, see it as what it is. Is it true? Is it really that frightening? Can I do something about it? Can I not do something about it? So really analyze it and see what's it all about. Yeah? Or when you lay in the middle of the night wide awake because you think, oh, I'm going to lose my job. Yeah. And then you think, if I lose my job, I cannot pay my mortgage anymore. And then, my wife or my husband going to leave me, and then I'm going to be homeless. And everything is like blowing a little bit out of proportion, right? But at night we think these things. So first of all, is it true? Maybe, maybe not. Yeah. So you get anxious over a situation which is not even there. You don't know if you're going to lose your job. Okay, so first of all, that's good because it's not true 100%. It might become true, but right now it's not true. So right now there's nothing frightening you or should frighten you because it's not there yet. Okay, and you cannot handle it because you're not there. Yeah, so what's the deal? What's the reason to be afraid of that? But is there something you can do so it won't come? Yeah, so maybe you can talk to your boss, maybe you can change the way you work, maybe you can look for another job, maybe you can have plan B, plan C, plan D. So if you feel in control, if you feel like, okay, there are these frightening thoughts, but actually, first of all, is it true? And then can I do something about it? And as soon as you get busy, you think, okay, so what are my options? So instead of not sleeping, I just leave it for tomorrow. Tomorrow I get up and I see my options. I even write them down. Okay, I say, if I'm not happy there and probably I'm going to be fired, what are my options? Where can I call? Who can I ask? What can I do? And then since you're so busy of thinking about solutions, and active, your brain thinks, okay, we're in control. The worst thing about anxiety is that we feel out of control. Yeah, this is why we have anxiety. We feel everything is bigger than and we cannot handle it. We're not equipped emotionally or time-wise, money-wise to do that, right? So if we do something, then it's not frightening anymore. We are busy, maybe very, very busy, but we're not stressed or feeling anxiety because we're in control somehow. And that's really good. Yeah. So this is something we really have to see. All of these thoughts, are they really true? Yeah. I'm a bad sleeper right now, but it doesn't need to be the rest of my life. Yeah. So whatever you think is true, maybe it's not. Yeah. Or I'm never going to be happy. Maybe not yet. Yeah, but you will be happy. You can do something. So it's always good to accept these thoughts and challenge them. Yeah, like a dialogue in your head. And then they're not as scary anymore because we are feeling this anxiety and we're having this monkey mind in the middle of the night because our subconscious thinks there's open or unfinished business. This is why we're not sleeping. Yeah. So if we don't think these things through or attack them, our brain will always in the middle of the night say, hey, it's really, quiet here. So there are no distractions. Nobody's talking to you. You're not working. You're not busy. Let's talk about all of this unfinished business. Yeah, that's the reason why we have these thoughts. So if you attack them, then your brain knows, okay, you're okay with that. You're doing something about it, so I can let it be. It's like this constant reminder, yeah? Oh, we didn't talk about this, we didn't talk about that, and that either, yeah? And now in the middle of the night, your brain wants to talk to you. So do it before. Yeah, journaling, for example, is really, really great throughout the day or even before you go to bed. And all of these things say, okay, now brain, talk to me. Now it's fine. Yeah, I'm not sleeping yet. Talk to me and just see what pops into your mind. Anything. It doesn't need to be big things. Anything. Oh, I need to buy meat for tomorrow. Oh, I need to call my aunt Magda in somewhere, it doesn't matter. Write it down. Then your brain says, okay, we talked about it. It's even, on paper, I can let go. That's the thing. Yeah. And then the bigger issues, attack them, talk about them, see what your options are and challenge them if they're really true or not.
And this is such great information. And I think it all kind of ties in. It's all this, we have created a story in our mind that we keep reliving, right? Like if you think about, we think 90% of our thoughts are the thoughts that we already thought yesterday. So if we don't attack them or write them out and assess them, like you described, are they true? Are they really that dangerous? They're going to keep coming until we confront them and say, you're actually fake news. Sorry, right? Like this is not true. Yeah. And
it never stops and it gets more and more.
Exactly. And this journaling, that's also a tool that I really also love to use with clients, also in terms of, I like to call it a brain dump, where we just at the end of I would do it not too close to bed, but the end of maybe end of work day, slightly after that, like you said, write everything down. Everything. It can be positive, it can be negative, it can be the tiniest, oh, I have to call the aunt, or I have to go grocery shopping tomorrow. Just dump it all on paper. It's safe there. And like you said, the brain's going to let go of it. And then you do not have anything active going on in there that prevents you from sleeping.
What I do sometimes when I work with business people or just any person who is really, really busy, they always like kind of under fire, they always think like, oh, I'm so busy, I'm so busy, I'm so stressed, I'm so stressed. And I sit down with them and I say, you know what? Okay, you're so busy, you're so stressed, you're so anxious. What is stressing you out? Everything. What is everything? Yeah. So I tell them, okay, you cannot challenge something if you don't even know what it is. Yeah. So if you really know black and white, this is what I have to do, this is why I'm so busy, then you can handle it. But they have like this black cloud and they always think like, it's too much, it's too much, it's too much. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. Yeah. So then I say, okay, what you just said, Annika, sit down and you write down everything you have to do from your work, privately, what you have to do in tomorrow, in a week or whatever. Every little thing you write it down. Yeah. And sometimes they feel like a couple of pages. Yeah. So even more and more and more. So, and then we have something we can attack. Yeah. And sometimes they were saying, okay, it's not that much. It just feels so overwhelming because I don't know how much it is. It's like when you're in debt. Yeah, you always think like, that's such a big amount, but if you really don't know what it is, you cannot, attack it. So that's the same with our to-do list. And then you see what can we, erase and say, okay, is this really important? Really, really? No. Okay. So then it gets smaller and then say, okay, and how can we do that? Because then we have something we can attack, but just feeling that anxiety, it's too much. I cannot handle it anymore. Yeah. What is too much? Yeah. So give it a face, give it a name, make it, so that you can touch it and see, okay, now we can do something.
Yeah. And I think these are fantastic tips. And I think you agree with that. We would encourage everybody to do that. And if this is something you struggle with, if anxiety around sleep and having that active mind is something, really, really try these things. Try to write your personal movie. Try to really confront those thoughts. And first of all, maybe write them down and then assess them. And that is sometimes, if that's something you struggle with, or that is something that you're concerned about, this is where coaches that's our job, right? That's what we're here for, to guide people through these processes. Because for some people, it becomes more easy. It will eventually even turn into a habit, but some people just have an easier go at this by themselves than others. And some people need maybe somebody who kind of holds them accountable and guides them through this process. And that is part of what we do when we work with our clients, right? We don't just do lab testing, and we don't just look at the body. We look at the mind in a very holistic way, and the body. And that is a big piece of the work that we do to help you get that anxiety out of the system and help you being able to feel safe and relaxed in order to be able to fall asleep.
Exactly. Yeah, because it's a puzzle. Sleep is always a puzzle. And sometimes it's maybe a little bit more, the mind, sometimes a bit more the body or lifestyle or sleep environment, but you need to look at the whole picture. If not, you're not getting the results you want to.
Absolutely. So thank you so much. I think those were fantastic tips. And like we always say, reach out to us. We would love to hear your story, and we would love to see how we can help. So if you would like to do that, Jessica, where can people find you?
Yeah, they can find me at Sleep Like a Boss, or they can find me at my homepage. It's called jessicarojasleep.com.
Awesome. And we will put that in the show notes. So it's jessicarojasleep.com, and we'll link it. So you can just click on there and find Jessica. Thank you so much, Jessica. This was great. And everybody have a wonderful evening, and we will talk to you soon.